Hey, hello everyone. This is the Cartoon Pad. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Robert.
How's everyone doing? And I'm saying that to the audience.
Oh, sorry, not well.
I just came from a colonoscopy a couple of days ago, so I'm all primed and ready to go with today's show. Great show lined up.
Are you clear or partly cloudy?
I'm good. I'm all good. And last night I spoke at the Film Forum. I introduced a movie called Hello Bookstore. And it was a great documentary about independent bookstores, and this one in particular in Massachusetts at Lenox. And in the movie, we had a cameo. Our book, The Elements of Stress, showed up briefly in one of the scenes. And it's kind of neat. I mean, to see it on the big screen, it's neat.
Did you jump up and...
That's our book!
Marty's here! Hello again, Marty!
Hello, Marty.
Your book.
God, I was sitting here with Bob. I was dying.
I know. I saw.
Actually, two books that Michael was in made a cameo. The other book showed up was the ultimate cartoon book of book cartoons, and Michael is featured in that book very heavily, and that book was in the movie too. And it got me to thinking of an idea for a book. I have a promo idea.
Okay.
You ready for it? There's this romance novelist who is she's on trial right now of killing her husband, and she has been making her way up the bestseller list because of all the publicity. Her books have been skyrocketing since she's been caught, and the plot it comes from actually one of her books. They're saying that they learned that she was the prime suspect because her books contain murdered things, and it's the same way her husband died.
I understand instead of a bodice ripper, it's a thorax ripper.
Well, listen, Michael, I say this with love, but my idea is if something would have happened to one of us, the publicity, let's say just hypothetically, I'm accused of killing you.
And also, let's say hypothetically, we are lovers, but is it hypothetical?
Okay. This is something that I have a lot of...
Marty just threw up a little bit.
This is something I have a lot of experience with. This is great publicity. There's no such thing as bad publicity. And my other partner, before
tell me, guys, if both of the authors of said book somehow get incarcerated and or perish, does the publisher get to take everything for themselves?
You're getting ahead of yourself. You're way ahead. Just work with me here. Let's just work on the PR. Right. The PR is this. Michael, this is something I have had experience with. My previous writing partner, I twice inadvertently tried to kill by accident.
You missed.
And I'm going to share how I did it then, and then we can see what you want to do with me, like what ideas you might have for me trying to kill you now.
It'd be so easy for
Bob. Bob, you're killing me right now anyway.
I'm going to explain. My other partner was my best friend, Len. And for his birthday, I got him a magnetic cup from Chinatown. You ever see those cups that are magnetic? And supposedly it makes the water healthier because all the ions come out of the water. And it's like the purest water if you could drink out of this mug.
No. I thought catchers wore those.
No, follow me with this.
Okay.
I'll keep it short. So I gave them as a gift because one thing we had in common was we're hypochondriacs. And he's like into all this garbage, like with magnets and with all that stuff. So I gave him the mug. Okay. And then he learned that because of his pacemaker, that the magnetic mug could kill him. Yeah. And then he got sick briefly, and I got rid of the mug, and I had to apologize. And then I said, I'm so sorry, and I still owe you a birthday present. So I went and got him a different present. I went back down to Chinatown, and I got him the famous durian fruit.
I love durian.
Okay, you know what that is?
Yes, it's
that spiky
durian.
It's the spiky thing. I learned about this on Michael Palin's TV show. He had gone to India and got this exotic fruit. And then I actually know him, and we were writing back and forth about the fruit. And I learned from him that you could actually purchase it in this country.
Oh yeah, I have purchased it. I could tell you a story about that.
We will. Let's cover that.
But your story is too fascinating to interrupt.
I'm going to wrap up my story because I think your durian fruit story I could sense is more interesting. But quickly,
you can sense the durian. Have you ever eaten?
We really kind of coded quickly over the fact that you had your book featured in a movie that came out in a theater.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't featured. It was a cameo. The book, and you could see it. And as a matter of fact, there was a lot of times when you could see one of the books. They keep popping up in the movie. It was nice.
I'm still shocked that Michael Palin answered one of your emails.
No, we are actually friends. But anyway, okay. Let's go on to the durian fruit. The durian fruit, 75.
Bob, wait. It's durian. It's not Dorian. You're thinking of Dorian Gray, like the.
Yeah, you're thinking about that sexy.
Well, this is DORI.
No. It's DURA.
It's with a U.
And the whips in the.
Oh, I thought it was with an L. Well, anyway, it's like $75 to buy in the street. You have to eat it or cut it up there because it's illegal to take it on the subway because it smells so bad.
Yes.
And they say it's supposed to taste so great.
Have you ever tasted it, Bob?
Yes. Tasted terrible to me.
How would you describe it?
It tasted exactly like garlic flavored pudding.
You're very close. I think it tastes.
What do you mean I'm close? That's what it tasted like to me.
No. Have you ever had a persimmon?
Yeah.
So it tastes like a persimmon that's been soaked in urine and sweaty socks with a little bit of onion juice.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it's delicious. I've had durian many times. I actually quite enjoy it.
But how do you get it? Because it doesn't come into
because
places.
You can buy it frozen, and you can also buy it as a flavoring in a lot. In fact, I was at my Asian market today, and you can buy it in like cookies.
You know, that's a new thing because it wasn't that way years ago. Years ago, it was totally inaccessible. You could not find it anywhere. Right. So anyway, what I found out was I brought him this as a peace offering. And then I learned that this fruit is very dangerous for people with a heart pacer. It's even more dangerous with a pacemaker. For some reason, it raises your blood pressure, and you can have a heart attack if you have a healthy gulp of this fruit.
No, I was thinking that it was just the sight of you bringing it toward him.
That's not nice. Come on.
This whole information dump of how to kill somebody with a durian. It sounds like a plot line on an episode of Murder, She Wrote. And they'd be like, how did he die? It's like, well, he just had this thing of durian fruit. It's like, oh, you didn't know that he had a heart condition? He was killed with this fruit.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to be thoughtful, though. I'm giving Michael a choice of how I would kill him. Let him decide. These are just ideas. We're just spitballing here.
Maybe just by boring him to death with long-winded stories.
Wow. Wow, you guys really.
So anyway, I enjoyed Bob. Actually, I enjoyed that story.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing. And let's the hell move on.
We will. But Michael, did you have a fruit story to share? Did you have any? I don't want to deprive you of your chance. Let's move on to. Do you have a fruit story? I don't want to cut you.
No. I took some durian. First time I saw it was on Anthony Zimmern, Bizarre Foods.
Okay.
And I went, and this was in Cincinnati, and I went and bought some frozen, and I took it to work because I thought it was funny. And I opened it up and I showed it to people, and not security, but maintenance came because they had reported a gas leak. And I said, no, it's not a gas leak. It's durian here. And they go, no. And the guy said, no, here, it really stinks. And I opened it up and they said, take that out of the building and never bring it back.
Yeah, it's illegal in some places here.
Yes.
But the main question is, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, they did not find any of that amusing, much like this show so far.
Do you lick the pen tips when you're working? Because I could poison the ink. I want to do something with a cartoon theme to it. I think that would be more like.
I have to think about that one. That's very good. You know what? You could send me a okay and make it be a fake one. I would just die.
I know what I do is I give you a heart attack, give you 3 okays in one email.
Yes.
I was watching an episode of Murder, She Wrote recently, and they killed a cartoonist with a Rube Goldberg trophy from the cartoon.
Oh my!
Oh, I like that.
That
But
is a
no one would.
episode of Murder, She Wrote. The cartoonist is murdered with the Rube Goldberg trophy, the real one
Yeah.
that you know about.
Is it the one that looks like an unspeakable act of?
And he's murdered by the inker of this. There's this whole plot. It's an episode you guys got to watch. I talked to Jason Shaffield on Talkword about it, and he remembers that episode, and it was very interesting. And it was all about cartoon syndicates and the syndication and the newspapers and stealing people's ideas. And this was like a 1989 episode.
I know. I saw the exact same plot on Monk.
Yeah.
Monk. Well, that's very good. A shout out to Jason. Hey, Jason is in Australia. He's also, is he still the president? Jason. Is he still the president of the National Cartoonist Society?
Yeah, he is.
And he's on the run, you say? He's a fugitive?
For murder.
For murder.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Murder he drew. Murder he drew.
That'd be good.
Let's bring on our next guest.
Yes.
Okay. Please.
Okay, our next guest is everywhere, yet prides herself in going nowhere. Her cartoons have appeared in the New Yorker, Mad Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, the Harvard Business Review, Reader's Digest, Alta, Playboy, Airmail, and Everyone's a Critic, the ultimate cartoon book. She designed some of the most popular greeting cards in the world and seldom leaves Albany, New York. Welcome to the show, Teresa Burns Parkhurst. Little delay there. It's great to see you.
Thank you. So in listening to all those very interesting things you guys were saying, I was trying to come up with a segue to prove that I was paying attention. So here it is, and I hope Marty gets it.
Okay.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. You know what it is?
Is that Murder, She Wrote?
We call it Aunt Jess.
I like it. Aunt Jess.
So are you watching Murder, She Wrote on MeTV, or where are you
There's
getting
so many places that you can watch Murder?
I don't anymore.
It's on.
That's part of my
Peacock.
past.
All of the entire series in HD is on Peacock right now, along with all of Columbo's, which is
love me some Columbo.
Those like
we don't have Peacock.
You can get.
We have Netflix. We got Netflix when COVID happened.
Peacock is free. You got to get the Peacock. They have some great stuff.
Oh wait, is it on the Roku?
Yeah, you can get it. It's an app.
Okay.
You can download Peacock anywhere. You can just put it on your iPad.
Yeah.
It's an app.
I know, but you know what? I probably wouldn't use it.
We're learning a lot of things here.
I live in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and I have over-the-air television, and I have 3 channels, and I appreciate anything I get to see.
Yeah.
So, doesn't matter what's on. I'm just happy something's on the screen.
I just watch the news, and then maybe some Jeopardy, and then maybe a show.
Little Bonanza, little Doris Day show.
No, right now we're watching Madam Secretary.
Okay, that's a good one.
I haven't seen that. I blazed through Severance. Anyone else watch Severance?
Oh, Severance was so good.
That was.
Yeah, that's
what is
on
it?
TV. That was an amazing.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
What? That noise? No, that's the door opening so the dog can come in because the
what kind of dog is he?
Oh,
let the dog
well,
in.
he's perfect. He isn't. He doesn't like to. He likes us all in one room, so he's having a hard time.
He's allowed on the podcast. Bring him on. Let him in.
No, he is, but I don't know how to get over there without ruining everything.
Everything's ruined. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that horse left the barn.
Wait a minute.
There she goes. Teresa Burns Parkhurst has now left the screen, and there's her dog.
Oh, that's a fine dog.
Oh, that's a Shih Tzu.
That's a canine.
It's Frankie Rose.
Is that a German Shepherd?
No, we have no idea what he is, but he's perfect. Just a little nervous.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
Oh Girl, don't tell me, huh? All right, go ahead.
Bob has some questions for you.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
Teresa, we're going to grill you.
Yes.
Okay.
You ready? No, thanks for coming on because this is during Jeopardy. I feel bad now.
Hello. I know.
I'm so sorry.
I
Okay,
know.
here's your categories. Newspaper articles. Your dad worked as a boy cartoonist for 400. Can you tell us a little bit about your dad? Because we did come across your dad in a newspaper article.
No, you saw it because of that. That's my father.
Yeah.
And he was 11 or so. And I keep that. I just ripped it off my drawing table. So he never really did it for a living. But he was a wonderful cartoonist and he could draw ever since childhood. And when he came back from being in the war, like there's only one, from WW2, he went and saw our local newspaper cartoonist who said, Bob, his name is Bob.
Yeah.
You're good enough, but you got to go to one of the big cities because it was so much easier. It's 1940, what, 6 or something.
So why would he emulate Elvis Costello?
Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
Jerry Costello.
Teresa, were you ever a stage performer?
Sir, why are you drunk again?
I was on stage.
Yeah.
Do you know who Nellie Forbush is?
Who doesn't?
Right. Well, guess who took a shower senior year of high school in the Catholic school on stage? It was me.
That could have went so many different ways. And that was
Is that how you earn? Is that how you earn the name Forbush?
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we could cut that out. Teresa,
Okay.
you went to Catholic school? So did I. I was an altar boy.
So you were on stage. I'm sorry. So you were on stage in like a set that they made into look like a bathroom.
Oh, the musical. South
Is that South Pacific?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you wash that man right out of your hair?
I tried and I tried, but he came back.
You washed that man right out of your Forbush.
Okay, Jesus.
My goodness.
You're just leaning into that.
I didn't know this was going to be blue.
I told you that at the very beginning.
No, I don't care about. Listen, potty talk.
Here, I'm sorry.
Teresa, watch what you say because if you do a good job, I'm replacing Michael with you.
Oh, yeah,
And
but then we have to do it earlier.
So please do a very good job.
Somehow, like
Look
the
at all the
rising of
sunshine.
the rising of the Lord behind Shaw for some reason.
Right?
The worst jokes. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is this being filmed?
He's just bragging that the sun's still out over there.
Not well.
Look at that. That's weird. All right, I'll be back. Continue.
Well, Teresa, we were saying you went to Catholic school, and I'm interested in that. How did that sort of, affect your cartoon?
Fuck me up?
No, I was going to say affect your cartooning, but okay.
Oh, affect my. Oh well, let me see. How did it affect my cartooning?
I was doing a whole bunch of work for Catholic magazines when I started, and I remember Bob Mankoff asking me if I was Catholic because he was curious to know why I was going down that road so frequently. Yeah, there was a bunch of Catholic magazines when I first started. One was called America.
Yeah.
And I was the regular cartoonist for them, and I was always doing cartoons of Moses and stuff like that. Michael does a lot of religious cartoons as well, and Michael.
Yeah, but mine I could too, but they wouldn't go in a Here, let me show you something.
Moses is very Old Testament.
Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
It's a little blurry. Can you read it?
Sister Mary, terry cloth underpants.
Ooh, and you think I work blue?
Who's this?
And what is this for? Is this for one of your greeting cards?
No, nobody ever wanted them. I sold them around here a little bit. Sister Mary, Immaculate Intestines.
Ooh, nice.
I did a whole series.
Bob just had a colonoscopy, so he has immaculate intestines too.
Bob, I was going to ask you, is this your second one? Because we're the same age, and I have to schedule mine.
Yeah. It's actually going to go fine. I really encourage everyone to do one because people are scared. And it's easy for me to say that because I already got mine taken care of. But everyone says
they're not bad.
Everyone says the drink is bad, but the drink is not bad at all.
Are we in Ukraine drinking it? Nope, it's delicious.
Good point. Michael,
Bob had a polyp in the shape of the Virgin Mary, and it was sort of a miracle. That was a long time to wait for that, but it was worth it.
It was good. Well, yeah, I loved my Catholic school. I loved all my knee socks. I had a blast in school. I didn't know how crazy it was until I started questioning all that stuff in my 20s and 30s.
Did you have a sharp pleated plaid skirt?
Only 4 pleats. Only 4 pleats in high school. But I recently, I still don't wear hardly any blue at all, but definitely no navy blue. And I recently, maybe in the last 10 years, started wearing like a burgundy color because they were the colors of the uniform.
Okay. Did you know then that you wanted to be a cartoonist or an artist? So what were you thinking then?
I did. When I started high school, I went to bat for myself because I don't have a mind for math or science. And sophomore year, they were going to make me take biology. And I had to go meet with Mrs. Picard, the guidance counselor. And I told her that I was going to be an artist. And she said, well, I needed to take sciences so I could learn how to mix paints.
No.
Anyway, I got out of it.
Oh.
I didn't, wait a minute, did I take biology? No, I took unified science. I did have to take math, but I was terrible at it. So yeah, I did know that I want to do that, but I had no idea how to do it till I was 43.
How to mix paint or how to take
How to be a
biology?
cartoonist, how to make a living doing this.
Oh, I haven't done that yet, so you're way ahead of me.
Teresa, did you go to art school?
I went to a local junior college and I took what was called commercial art, which is, I mean, everything's on the computer now. This is in the 80s. And then after a year, I said, I'll never get a job doing this. I'll be a social worker. So I went to another 2-year college and took some courses doing that. And then I went back and finished. It took me 5 years, and I have a 2-year degree in commercial art.
I understand you have an associate's degree.
It's an associate's degree.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it was a real, I paid my own loan.
And were you doing comedy on the side of it?
And it was nearly $200, I understand.
No comedy.
No.
No comedy. And let's see. So that was in my 20s. Well, I was in a band. I was always in bands once I was in my 20s.
Oh, my.
So I guess that's where my creative stuff came out.
And you're in a band now.
Sometimes.
What's the name of the band that I see you talk about on Facebook?
Well, you don't anymore because we don't do that. It was called The Leftovers. But it was with my husband and a friend of ours that we worked together forever. And then COVID happened.
What kind of music did you guys play when you played?
Let's see who's sitting behind me there. Can you see those people? That's James Taylor and Joni Mitchell behind me.
Okay. What a band! Jeez.
Singer-songwriter stuff. John Hyatt.
Oh, I was getting a really Tina Weymouth kind of Talking Heads vibe off of you, or maybe a Laurie Anderson.
No, like because my hair's short. No,
because you're very.
I was thinking more 80s pop.
No, I love Ricky Lee Jones, Bonnie Raitt.
James Taylor lives up your way,
Oh, you know what? I'm not talking to him.
I had a James Taylor story I told last night. He was up by Lenox, Massachusetts, in a bookstore. Customer came out of the bathroom laughing, and he said to the owner of the bookstore, "That's the first time I ever saw my photo above the toilet."
Wait, it was him?
Yeah, he had a photograph of himself, above the toilet in this bookstore. And he lives up that way in the Berkshires.
Yeah, he lives, in Lenox.
Yeah. I'm going up that way. I'm planning my trip up there. I'm going to be up your way.
Well, I'm here. But like I said, I'm not speaking with him, because after his second divorce, I was like, listen, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Did you have a nasty breakup?
No,
you want to have a nasty breakup.
He never went for it, so he can go have his life.
Which of his songs were written about you?
I've seen Fire and I've seen Parkhurst.
No, that's not even.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I have that tattooed on my ass.
What song was written about me?
Marty's waited 8 episodes to get that out.
I can't come up with one quick enough. Go to another topic, please.
How far are you from Woodstock?
Daily double.
Hour and 40 minutes, maybe.
Are you familiar with the work of Graham Parker?
And the rumor?
Yes.
Yeah.
He lived in Woodstock.
Don't bother with the local girls. Don't bother with the
local girls.
Don't bother with
them. They don't bother me. Very good. Hey, we're going on the road with this. No, he's one of my heroes. So
yep.
I don't think he's in New York anymore. He's back in London.
Well, I think Donald Fagen is still in Woodstock, Steely Dan.
Todd Rundgren, I think.
Todd Rundgren, who shares a birthday with me.
There you go. Among other things, including James Taylor. Mm-hmm. That's a little freaky. Bob, would you talk about cartoons, please?
Yeah, let's bring this back to
Lord.
Is Marty asleep?
Yeah.
No. You woke him up.
All right.
Nice going, Teresa.
Here for you.
Oh, wait a minute. He was doing Wordle or something, right? He was.
Oh, did everyone do their Wordle today?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't talk about the weekend. Don't talk about the weekend.
No, today.
I know, but the weekend was not good for me.
Oh, you mean you're just a larva?
I was going to forego the whole process.
Forego the whole weekend, yes.
Yeah, I do Wordle right after I read the obituaries.
It gets hairy, doesn't it?
Michael's obsessed with it. We have to see his scores.
I enjoy Wordle. I do it first thing that I do it before I get out of. Yes, I do it in the morning before I can get out of bed, unless I figure out the Wordle.
We know.
I'm not out of bed yet.
And you post your Wordle every day.
I do.
Instead of promoting the book or doing any.
I know. I'm horrible. You're right, Teresa. This is Bob. You're his new partner. You will send Bob to levels that he is dreaming of. That I'm embarrassed. I'm leaving. Bye.
Don't, Michael.
What?
Don't,
please.
Teresa, don't let him go. Let him have his little timeout.
Don't bring that to this.
She's gonna beg me. Come on. Okay. For
okay,
you.
I'm gonna read one of the questions to all of us that we had come in.
Okay.
I got a bunch of questions for the show, but this is one I could read. The others are kind of rhetorical. We can't really state.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like,
Bob. Yeah.
Can't say that anymore, Bob.
Bob, where would the world be without rhetorical questions? Really?
Yeah. Well, this is one we can share. This is from Kevin Land.
Burning immediately.
Wait, Marty. Now we're going to say that word when we want to say the other word.
All right. Go ahead, Bob.
So
okay,
rhetorical.
here we go. I started
a safe word. Bluebird.
Right now.
One at a time. Story. I started submitting cartoons to the New Yorker last November using the Submittal website. This is a question from Kevin Land. I have yet to hear back on their review, so I was wondering what their process is and what they mean by reviewing on a rolling basis. I'm not expecting an okay, but it would be nice to know for sure before I post elsewhere. It sounds like many cartoonists submit 10 per week, whereas Emma's directions are for 10 per month. So I'm assuming that those other processes for submitting. Thank you for your time. I look forward to your next podcast. Bob, I love you.
Well,
I'm going to let
I didn't know your mom was submitting.
You really?
Yeah, I didn't know your mom
it's
was
between the lines.
Cartoons.
There was a lot of affection between the lines. Teresa and Michael, I'll let you field this since you guys are the New Yorker cartoonists.
Who's Emma?
Oh, she's the cartoon editor of the New Yorker.
Oh, I thought it was Emma Peel from the Avengers.
Bring it back.
Okay. Is there a submittal website? I don't even know what that is.
Yes, that's I can't speak to that either, because that's, I think, what you have to use.
Sounds like it should be on Pornhub.
It's just how you submit. It's called Submittable. It's a website that streamlines the process of uploading.
It probably feels like the abyss. That's what it feels like submitting to the Reader's Digest now. It's just a black hole on the internet.
Bob should
I can't speak to that. I when I started submitting, I had Bob Mankoff's contact. So I don't think there was Submittable when I started submitting.
People like things like Submittable because it makes them faceless, and then they don't have to answer someone who's like, "Why is no one listening to me? Is anyone out there? Hello, I just sent my life's work to you."
It sounds like a dating site.
Yeah.
Teresa, when we first met back.
Well, I think we were very helpful there, weren't we?
Yeah. Teresa, when we first met in 2010.
It was that long. It was not that long ago.
Yeah, it's over 10 years ago. And I joked with you that you were the best cartoonist out there.
I know. You knew not who in New York. Was.
And I said this, I went in and told Bob. And that's the last time we met face to face.
Yeah.
And now everything has changed since. You become one of the regulars in the magazine.
We congratulate you.
Thank you. It's, literally everything changed.
And Bob uses you at airmail.
Bob's okay with me now. Bob was not interested in 2010, but when I met you and you knew who I was, I hated that process of going and sitting with all the people who already, sold to the New Yorker. I hated that. And you knew who I was. I was like, you know who I am? So that made me feel so good.
Yeah, I recognize your face from the post offices. So I submitted, and then I'd give up because I was making a living doing it elsewhere. I just couldn't sell there. And then when Emma started, she bought one from her first week and my first batch, and that's Frankie crying. Oh, are we frozen? Well, Michael's frozen. Let's take advantage of that. Let's sneak in some good questions all of a sudden. Teresa, how much did John Caldwell play a role in you getting into the magazine? We should explain who he is for those who don't know his work.
There's his death card.
Yeah, poor John, a very beloved cartoonist. He's up that way. Did you live near him?
Yes. So I met Caldwell in 2002. And it was right around the anniversary of 9/11. There was a local exhibit around here that I was part of and he was part of. And someone we knew in common introduced us, and he was just lovely enough to speak with me. And then he sent me, at that point I was only working for greeting card companies. So, humorous greeting cards. And Johnny sent me some Mad magazines and told me, here's the names, here's who you send to. And I was like, all right, I looked at what he did, and it just so happened, I was like, I can do that, which I can't do about a zillion other things, but that came easily to me. And I sent it in and they bought one. So I thought, well, okay, but it didn't go that easy after that. But now those people at Mad, they became my buddies. That was a blast. John Ficara, all of them. Anyway, so then Johnny told me about gag cartoons. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know anything about that whole process of just sending in batches. And he taught me how to do that and gave me all the addresses. And I started doing it. And then, so he was my mentor, and then he was my best girlfriend. He was like my work buddy. Every day we'd email and say, what are you having for dinner? And talk about what, because everything came in the mail then. We would share if we got good news in the mail. And then he died.
Did he die unexpectedly, or he had a long illness?
No, he had pancreatic cancer, so it's kind of quick.
Oh.
He died in 2016. He was just a month shy of his 70th birthday.
I didn't understand. John was such a great gag cartoonist, yet he wasn't in the New Yorker himself. Because who knows?
Right, exactly.
When I first met him, he said, I sold 16. He had a number, 16 cartoons to the New Yorker. And then they just stopped. So he went with me. Wait a minute. Sam Gross. He was good friends with Sam Gross. So I got to meet Sam Gross, which is such an honor. And it was actually Sam who took me the first time to go to the offices. But Caldwell came with me once, and he brought a batch in just because, just because he had kind of given up on it. And he sold one, and then I cried. And then he died, and then I sold some.
Wow.
So Sam took Bob to the New Yorker too.
Sam is how you first went in?
Yeah,
he was gateway cartoonist.
He just did it as a dare. He said, I dare you to come in. And I did a batch, and he introduced me to Bob. And then Bob actually bought the first cartoon that I drew. The first
you were doing stand-up, right?
No, never done stand-up. No.
You told me you did stand-up.
He's a liar.
Yes, you did when you were trying to impress me with your stand-up.
Yeah, he was hitting on you.
No, I wrote humor for magazines. I worked for Spy magazine.
Yeah.
And I ghost wrote for Playboy. I wrote Little Annie Fanny. And I've done lots of comedy in publications. Not only did I never do stand-up, I never wanted to. It was never my thing.
Why is that in my head?
I'm not sure.
I think Bob's energy levels might be a little too excited for stand-up.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You were on a soap opera, though, right?
No.
No, remember?
Bob,
when
you
I
were-
first
yeah.
met you,
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
You're so familiar, and you were like Tad from One Life to Live or whatever.
I did not say that. The people next door to us at the table, some women came over and asked for my autograph because they thought that I was this guy from Guiding Light.
It wasn't Guiding Light because I never watched that.
Well, it was one of these shows,
You looked like Tad from whatever show it was.
and people came over and asked me for my autograph, and I explained to them that I wasn't this person who I never heard of.
That wasn't with me. You told me that. Never mind.
No, I never told you that. But that did happen at Pergola's.
I feel like we're married, and I'm remembering
Yeah,
correctly,
I
and
think
you're not.
I think Bob's tried that on more women than he can remember. So
Is Bob the evil twin on a soap opera?
I
Or
tell you
maybe the
what.
possessed alien.
Tad-
baby?
I think Bob played James Stenbeck on As the World Turns.
Tad would be doing well if he's aging like you are, because you're looking quite well.
Thank you.
Bob, you look good.
distinguished.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's the low resolution camera.
Thank you for that, Marty.
It's the impressively high forehead.
Wait, plus you have the camera like that.
Yeah, of
That,
course.
yeah.
He has like the like selfie angle. Yeah, exactly. Everybody looks great.
Wait a minute, that's way better.
He's got a lot of product. He's got a lot of product poured into his hair too.
What creepy skin.
Those are my sponsors, and Michael, that goes right into keeping the lights on it.
Oh, let's yeah. Should we
He's
give
got some of those
Weekly
filters
Humorist
on.
a plug
Hey,
right
you're
now?
back to Catholicism with the sponsors, huh?
I love it.
What's your confirmation name?
I want to say Joseph Michael.
No. What do you mean? There's one.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I'm not at the age. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing darts at my memory.
Diesel Bob.
Yeah.
Judas.
Is anybody
Bob?
else Catholic?
No,
I was raised Catholic. I'm confirmed.
Oh, now you're younger, so you're okay. How old were you when you were confirmed? Like a teenager?
Yeah, teenager.
Bob,
I
you
was
were in 4th grade, right?
Yeah, I was like in 5th grade. And by the way, Marty's not as young as he looks. He's had some work done.
I'm as old as I look, so don't worry.
I am.
Michael's dead.
Well, what's
Except
interesting,
when I go
I'm
like
dying.
that.
And just tell everyone, because we're trying to get book sales up. We decided before, that's the way to go.
I know.
You have to kill off Michael.
I liked that.
I'm ready to die.
We all have voted that we like this idea. So sorry, Shaw.
Yes. Christ. I'll be the Christ-like one. I will sacrifice myself.
I want to go back to the idea of doing like an installation where there's like an event where the artist is like in a Volkswagen and trying to run someone over. I call that a piece of art performance.
I saw that in a Woody Allen movie in a original Mini Cooper.
Oh, was that the Sleeper movie?
Yeah, that was Take the Money and Run.
Oh, okay. When I first saw that movie, it was like the first movie I ever saw. That scared me. It was in the drive-in, and it was so weird to be like seeing these big people on the screen. It just freaked me out. And it took me like a couple of decades to appreciate the movie later. Teresa, can you remember your first movie?
Oh my God. I'm sure my mother made me go watch My Fair Lady, something with Julie Andrews. Was probably my first.
Was your mom funny? Was everyone in your family funny?
No.
Were you the funny one?
My father was funny, but my mother had a great sense of humor. No, my father was silly and dry and funny and chronic worrier, and he could
Jewish.
draw. Totally, right? Completely worried about his health.
How
all
did
the
you
time.
get yourself into the greeting card niche of doing the cartoon?
From the book. What's the book you get? The Artist Market book.
Okay, so you went to school, you wanted to do some art, and then you said, "This is my way in doing greeting cards."
How did I do that? Yep.
Because greeting cards are definitely the way, like the way that my mom would always buy. Every time we'd go to like a Hallmark or even the grocery store, they had a whole section of greeting cards, and my mom would always buy greeting cards, not because something was tomorrow, but just because you got to stock up. You know,
keep a stash of them.
And she had this old secretary desk that is still in my parents' house, this antique, and the whole thing lifts up, right?
Yeah.
The whole thing lifts up, and if you lift it up right now, there's going to be like 200 greeting cards of different types of.
I hope there's one of mine.
And then she has something to send to her sisters or my sisters.
Yeah, it's recession proof.
Yeah,
greeting
there's
cards,
always a
I
greeting
was
card.
told are recession proof. And if you're working on royalties, I have a card I made I don't know how many years ago, and every 3 months I get money from it.
Well, that's
so
good.
I love my greeting card.
So do you? Yeah. So what's the cartoon that was like? Because Sam Gross will always talk about the frog's legs. He'll be like, "That frog's leg bought my house in Fire Island."
Yeah.
So what cartoon was your frog's legs for like a royalty proposition? Like
I would say my orange cat, a cat on a counter. It's an orange cat on a counter, drinking a martini.
I have
or something. Who
so she's like, "Get off the counter," and I'm like, "Get off my ass."
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
and the
rung
cat is
true with a
drinking,
lot of people.
Bombay Blue Gin.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now because we do due diligence.
Oh! I thought you had it because you liked it.
I
thought
do
you
like
had it
it.
because it's a cat's person's
I do.
birthday
I
soon.
actually
We're all fans of your work. We love.
I have purchased this card many times.
Well, that is why I have these earrings in.
Okay.
So cat people.
Cat people went for that, man. I'd love to do I wish I could do more animal humor just in general with gags. Barron's used to buy a lot of my dog cartoons.
Oh,
New Yorker, not so much.
I miss Barron's.
Your cats.
I miss Barron's.
Your cats have a hint of Victoria Roberts about them. I mean, they don't look. They look like cat cakes. They don't look like cats.
Like cat cakes. I don't have a cat.
Like
so
they don't
I
have
didn't,
bottoms?
I didn't have one to
part
look
of the
at.
cat doesn't exist?
Are you a cat fan? I mean, Bob's just written a book about cats, and he hates cats.
As soon as I got a dog, I loved cats and every other animal. But exciting news.
This is a podcast, a Cartoon Pad podcast exclusive.
Yes.
This
I
just in.
just did 6 new greeting cards, and they're all Orange Cat. And
You're
it's
the new Cliben.
Oatmeal Studios.
Nice.
Well, congratulations.
That's my big news.
That's great because
Congratulations. Sounds
there's
very
never
healthy.
been a very popular orange cat before. So
No.
Exactly. Thank you.
And Heathcliff
So
is
clever.
Heathcliff is the most unfunniest cat on earth.
I didn't do all the droopy eyes, okay? Most
Thank
of
you,
my eyes
Michael.
are
We'll
funny.
never have him on as a guest now.
So are you gonna? So
Yeah.
is your orange cat going to become a recurring branded, like a character mascot? Put it on.
They're gonna
everything?
they're gonna see how it goes.
That's exciting.
Well, wait. Here's
Very
the kind of
entrepreneurial.
here's the kind of business mind I have. It was in this last year. Now, like I said, that card probably, I don't even know when it came out, before 2010. And this year I was like, that card makes a lot of money. I should ask them if they want some more Orange Cat cartoons. It took me this many years to even pitch it. So,
Hey, sorry, Teresa, what's the name of this greeting card company?
Oatmeal Studios.
Oatmeal Studios. And who's the contact?
Jeez.
Don't tell everybody.
It's called
I will-
boundaries. It's
I
called
will
boundaries.
I will absolutely give you that.
Okay,
info.
I have a set of cocktail napkins from Paper Products. And it was originally a New Yorker cartoon, which is more Chateau de Costco. And it's this couple at a coffee table, and they're drinking out of a 45-liter box of box wine. And the New Yorker decided we don't want to do booze stuff anymore. So they dropped the New Yorker label from it.
What?
But they still, I know. I go,
They didn't
what?
say booze. They said Bob stuff anymore.
Maybe they said Michael stuff. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's an excuse, but they still kept the cartoon. And once in a while, I get a check for just enough to buy some
Box
Chateau-
wine.
So
some
they kept the
Chateau de
cartoon-
Costco.
They kept the cartoon in the cartoon bank, but they didn't want to run the cartoon as a New Yorker cartoon.
No, Paper Products kept the cartoon as a napkin,
Okay.
but they dropped the New Yorker logo from it.
Oh my
okay.
God.
I got you. So it started out as a New Yorker cartoon on napkins, and then it became.
And I think they dropped all the New Yorker logos off of that. And that could maybe.
Oh, they just
been
lost
a-
the licensing. Yeah, that's just a
Yeah, I'm
license.
just thinking it's a money thing. So,
Yeah.
but it still
Money
hurt.
things. Of course
Money.
it hurts.
It's still-
Money.
Of course
Money.
it hurts.
Ugh.
Now, Teresa, if someone was going to ask you how to get started in greeting cards in a more polite, indirect way that Michael asked for a contact, would you suggest people needed like an agent, or do people need to come up with like their own collection of cards? And do they write their own jokes?
If you can. I mean, you can submit just art to places, and then they'd pair you with writers. In fact, Oatmeal uses me to illustrate for other writers as
Oh,
well.
okay.
It's different humor from mine, but no, I would say mock up greeting cards.
Have you
and
been to those
send 'em.
the stationary paper product shows?
Yeah, I actually had a booth there once in 2000. What the hell year was it? Anyway, I made up a just locally. Myself and another person helped me, and made up a bunch of cards. And we went down there, and we were going to sell them by hand. And I made some sales, and then I said, I can't do this. I need like somebody else to market. And that's when I started looking for companies.
And
Oatmeal.
would you recommend the book then, going back still to
Yeah,
the
do they still
graphic
have the
arts
book?
market book?
Absolutely.
Okay, and it has
I
to
mean,
be like the new one, like they come out with one each year. Excuse me, 2022, 2021. Do you need to get the latest one, or any of them do the job?
I wouldn't get the one from 2005.
Okay.
No. And don't those just take advantage of desperate people who want to like just
No, I got gigs.
I mean,
through
I'm
it.
thinking like Writer's Digest. I mean, they just want to prey on the weaknesses of people dreaming about writing, right?
Yeah,
Bob?
no, but if you're good enough,
This was
And-
one of mine that I had. Was the pricing and ethical guidelines art book.
That's a little different, though.
And this was the graphic. This is the Graphic Artist Guild brand.
Well, that's important, Marty, but that's a little different.
But that's if you're selling to know how to price yourself, right?
Yeah.
Correct, Teresa.
Yeah. No, I mean, what I think is that if you're good enough and your stuff gets in front of the person that needs to see it, that's wherever you get their address from doesn't matter.
You realize your orange cat is a Ginger Tom, don't you?
Yep.
It's a Ginger Tom.
It's a Ginger Tom.
I had a Ginger Tom named Scat. So my cat was named Scat, and I would yell Scat at it and it would run to me.
That's ironic. No, is it ironic?
Yes. Yeah, that's ironic. And he lived to be like 17 and was blind and would yell like a banshee. And I go, Scat, we're gonna have to go kill you. And we did.
When you do your greeting card,
that's a happy ending though. He went out like a trooper.
When you do your greeting cards and all your cartoons and stuff, do you retain all rights or do people do a buyout from you? So if you're getting royalties, that probably means that
she doesn't know. She does not know the answer.
No, I do know the answer. The answer is God will provide.
Yes.
That's the answer for every question. I hope that answers Kevin Land's question. Kevin Land asked us about the processing, the submitting process, and let's just wrap that up. I just have to put a bow on that.
Yeah,
Kevin, we are not sure. The best we could say is to be patient and wait for a response because we're not sure how the mysterious ways of the New Yorker.
We'll call you.
Yes,
no, but it is mysterious, and I don't think anyone does quite know, except to be patient. And we are rooting for you.
Absolutely, everybody who submits, but also there are many places that just don't get back to you.
Yeah,
that's part of it. You know,
a lot of times, no answer is your answer.
Exactly.
And you just gotta you say that one didn't work. Send another one, or send the one that didn't work to another editor at another magazine.
Absolutely.
Because if you believe in your joke, someone else will if it's funny. But
I have 15 cartoons to Marty right now, and I haven't heard anything from him in weeks.
Don't call us; we'll call you.
Judas.
I sent him how to draw a fedora. It was beautiful.
I think we should at least tell this guy how long you should wait before you. I don't know. I would say waiting 2 months is fair, don't you think? Before you
I think so, Teresa. That's good to say. Yeah, 2 months.
The problem with submittable is, it's you have nobody to direct a follow up to. So I'm very bad memory wise. Someone will send me something that I do like, and I'll mark it like yes, like I'll put a little star on it. But maybe I didn't write back to them and say yes. I just put a star on it to remind myself to say yes, and then I forgot. And then weeks go by, and then someone will say, hey, just following up on this. And I'll say, oh, yes. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I marked this as a yes, and I'm an idiot. Thank you for following up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it to go somewhere else, because a lot of times I will take too long, and I'll write to someone and say, yeah, I want this. And they'll say, oh, it's already published over here. Sorry.
Marty?
You lose. And that's fine. That's my fault. So it's like, yeah.
We should explain that you are not just doing this for giggles. You are actually the cartoon editor of the Weekly Humorist. So that, just to explain that you are an editor, and that's why you are.
And I was running the National Lampoon's website and doing
all right.
And Teresa, I published a couple of your cartoons.
Oh, ones that nobody else would buy. I was happy about it.
That's right. I'm the guy that takes it. It's like the A-team. If no one else can help, you can call me.
Teresa, what do you think makes a good cartoon? Not Marty. I'm asking Teresa now.
All right.
What do you and maybe it's something that John said to you or something you picked up along the way, but what would you say is a good advice?
I would say I think if it's well drawn or has some kind of well drawn, I guess, in some fashion, well drawn.
Well, that leaves me out. Okay, I'm done.
Well, no, I just said at least in a certain style.
Yeah.
And if it makes you laugh. And sometimes you don't even laugh right out loud, but it's clever.
You know what? I got to say, Teresa, you know what you draw really, really well that I find infinitely amusing?
What?
These kind of tiny eyes going in two different directions.
Yeah, they're all. You know what?
I don't know. You even
No,
the cats.
this is why. This is why. That's my.
Yeah.
She,
This is
she
great on
had-
the podcast, by the way.
we call this. We call it up here the Schenectady eye. Like one eye goes the other way, but my grandmother had that.
And
I just think that's a good look.
Yes, for the audience at home, Teresa just showed us an eyeball she had.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And I really,
my grandfather did have a fake eye. Now you're onto something.
Your cats.
Peter Falk had a fake eye.
They seem to be going in like 45 directions in the opposite way, like an iguana.
Yeah, I don't want them really going the same
way.
No,
Teresa, that's fine. If you don't want to tell us the cartooning secrets, that's okay.
The cartooning secrets of the Schenectady eye?
All right, all right.
Just did.
Cross eyes are just corny.
So a lot of the cartoons that you do your hand lettering on a lot of the jokes.
Yes.
In the beginning, at least, you did when you would submit, and I thought it was very stylized. So, but sometimes do editors cut it and relay the text? And are you okay when they relay your captions? Or is your hand lettering kind of part of the art?
Oh, you mean for captions or part of the art?
For captions, I guess.
Sometimes, no. I always assume it's going to be set to type. Like I'll do like headers and stuff on greeting cards.
Yeah, like a banner
on purpose.
Yeah,
like a banner.
Yeah,
and Teresa, you know who? Teresa,
I see cartoonists will do hand lettering, and it's done in a certain way, and it's like that's how they want it to be.
Oh no, I don't care.
And I never know if I don't want to like bother people, so it's like sometimes I reset stuff if it's like illegible. Like I'm like no one can read this, especially
that's
on a
nice.
Website. Yeah.
No, I always assume.
Yeah, I think a caption should be typeset, but if you're drawing a banner, it should be your own drawing.
Michael, I agree. Whatever. Even in my batches that I submit, I typeset the caption.
I do too.
To the New Yorker. But it makes it seem like you're one step closer to saying, "Oh, it's ready to be put in the magazine."
You should just send a mock-up with the cartoon on a page of the magazine. Be like,
"Look at this! Look at this!"
You're at the end of half an article.
I do it so they know when I draw a banner, that's what I meant it to be. So, and when I typeset it, I mean it to be a caption. Thank you. Serious cartoon advice. Take it.
And it's on the bottom. You put it on the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys also do this with the batch where your favorite cartoon, the one that you think has the best chance, you put it in the front of the batch, and then you put it again, you repeat it at the end of the batch?
No, I put it in next week.
And then I put it in the middle. And I call those posts. Those are fence posts. So this way you're constantly reminded of this cartoon.
No, I put my two best cartoons at the beginning and end, and I call them bookends.
Come on,
bring it.
That's the way you do it, Michael. That's how you get all the okays.
So
all the other cartoons, it's just blank sheets of paper.
That's a good strategy.
Here's 6 cartoons. 5 of them are just blank sheets of paper, and then there's one really good cartoon.
No, I have a cartoon that
Here it comes again. Every podcast. Go ahead. Intentionally left space.
Yes, I have a cartoon that says this cartoon intentionally left blank. Like when you get those fiduciary kind of documents.
Yes, Michael, I swear to you, when I run you over to Volkswagen, that's just going to say on your tombstone. This space intentionally left blank.
You'd run me over in the Mini if you could get it started.
It's going to be fixed. Believe me. The guy says, Tony says, 2 weeks left. Come on, give me the break.
That car needs some brakes.
Okay, let's bring this back. Teresa, I got to tell you, when I see your work, I was wondering if you've been influenced by Tom Chaney. I see a little Tom Chaney in your work.
I'm completely honored, but I didn't know who he was till I was already doing this. As is true with many cartoonists, I didn't know who they were because that wasn't my thing. So I didn't know what gag cartoons were.
No.
So
now here's what I've noticed.
I'm honored though.
I've noticed what I call the horror vacui cartoon in that you have some very cluttered settings, and then there's a wry observation or a really off-kilter remark, and you've got all this stuff on the floor, and I'm looking at it, and I go like, what is that? Is that something? Is that what I think it is? So I'm looking at all these little items.
I love doing that. You know, I think
it's very George Booth.
It's because I had a daily that was it was a big messy room, and then they happened to run one in print randomly, and it was a messy room. But I have a blast drawing them because
you're stuck with those now.
I know that's okay.
But
look, I have one of them. I have the Charlie's Angels poster.
Yes,
like that was fun, and that's fun. I love doing that.
The
stuff.
two were also kind of generational because one was like a college student and say my room's not messy. It's just an experience or something.
Yeah,
like
the immersion experience.
Yes.
And then the other one was just the daily. That really struck a nerve. There's a lot of people who must keep their house like terrible because like people really, it was a person showing up at the door and the guy saying, "Oh, come on in, but don't mind us. We're just in the middle of not caring anymore." And it's all
That's
shitty.
pretty good.
And but man, did a lot of people respond to that like, "Thank you," like.
Yes.
This is
don't mind
house.
us. We're just drug addicts.
Yeah, we're just hoarders. But I appreciate everybody who. No, people are stressed out and they have other stuff to do besides pick up their food containers.
So now you're gonna have to own that style. You need to make that your own and take it.
Okay.
Because I'm not drawing all that.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
You could cut and paste it, I think.
It's a lot.
I tried to cut and paste cartoon, and I was told never ever do that again. Like a collage cartoon.
Just you.
Who told you that?
Bob, but he said never. He meant draw.
Bob is the best at copying and pasting cartoons because Bob will use the exact same cartoon and then he'll change like two things and then change the joke, and it's like, didn't you just do this? And he's like, no, it's totally different now.
No, I use the same images.
You're talking about two different Bobs here.
I'm talking about you, Bob. I'm talking about
you, Bob.
You.
Yeah, and Michael's talking about Mankoff.
No, I'm talking about you, Bob.
We're all talking about you.
Well, this has become a Lou Costello routine.
Yeah, but I resubmit cartoon. I just take the image and then I put a new caption on.
Yeah.
Shh, don't give it away.
Teresa, how often do you resubmit a cartoon that you really like? That's a big question with everyone is, are they allowed to resubmit and how many times?
I say you're allowed to resubmit every 3 months until your heart breaks.
Well, I resubmit constantly. I don't care. You're going to buy this or see it forever.
People will resubmit to me, and I've already bought it and run it. And then they're like, how about this man again? I'm like, that's up right now. Do you even look at the magazine?
Not another snowman cartoon. Those are the worst.
Hey, I was just looking up Hangman. I was trying to come up with a Hangman gag, and I thought of how sick it is that we play this game where we hang somebody.
Yeah.
And apparently now there's the politically correct alternative is to make a snowman.
Okay.
Oh, that works.
How do you hang a snowman? Though?
I was going to say, because that was my first thought. Why would you hang a snowman?
I think the head comes off anyway.
His head falls right off.
Bob, help us.
Yeah.
But what a strange game that is.
Yeah.
And you'd go like, no, I'm going to put braces on him now. Like there's more letters.
Stuff. You're like, he's not dead yet. And then
See, now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of Teresa's mind, how it works. So did you come up with a good cartoon idea from switching over the snowman? Nothing. She's nodding her head no for people who don't have television.
No, but I thought on it and I looked it up.
And so you're jotting down an idea and then you're mulling over it and then you go to sleep on it. How long do you try to work on an idea before it comes that it comes and fleshed out as a drawing?
I have some ideas that I just write down, like the bare bones of what I think is a good area, and that I never come up with an idea for. And then, I mean, I won't spend gobs of time, and I don't go to bed thinking about it. I'm like, all right, that's not gonna work.
Do you try to be topical?
Yeah, well, for dailies.
Yeah, well.
Somewhat.
I gave up on being topical. I have no topics left.
Well, you gotta pay attention to stuff too to be topical.
I know, forget that.
But no one's being topical anyway. It's not showing up. I see anywhere. No one's being topical. They just.
I know because Trump is gone.
I hate the pressure of the topical joke because you have to post it so soon. You have to accept it so fast, and then the shelf life is so short.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I want something that's going to be funny in 6 months. Also, like this has to keep being funny. Like this, the point isn't for this whole thing to just disappear. It's going to live, online.
Right.
So I like evergreen stuff so much more than a joke that's only good for like 5 days or something like that.
You're
good for you,
me think
Marty. I agree.
Good for you, Marty.
No,
I agree.
Now I think we need to all do just one verse. Ready? Join me.
Okay.
Love, soft as an easy chat.
I thought we were doing the Love Boat for a second.
I was too.
No.
Me too.
It's
I was doing Love Boat.
Love, exciting
and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you.
Isn't it exciting when nude?
No, exciting and new, Michael. Love is exciting and new.
God,
I just saw the topical cartoon of the Love Boat. It was actually
the bartender going to say, Captain Stubing. Who you Stubing?
Gopher. Wait, what do you mean you saw the topical cartoon of the Love Boat?
Well, I drew a big yacht, and it was being pulled by a little tugboat, and the caption was "Finders Keepers," and it was like based on like the Russian oligarchs. And I pitched it as a daily. They didn't bite, and then I sold it to Caribbean Magazine.
What is that?
That's good.
The editors there say if I ever have a boat cartoon, they would buy it.
I think James Thurber used to sell to them.
Never heard
he
of
was
them.
big on the Caribbean cartoons.
No, he was actually big in Bermuda. He lived in Bermuda in the off season.
It's funny how many magazines that are just for business niches there are. So you could make a living being a cartoonist and never be in a regular publication.
Sure,
you could just be selling cartoons about cars.
Hello.
Stereo
guilty
or Bob, that's all you do is sell cartoons about niche business stuff.
Yeah, Michael was going to ask me a question today. You wanted to know what in-house publications are.
Yes. Oh, we're going to discuss that.
Yeah, let's talk about it with Teresa here because she'll give us some insight. But I was telling Michael right now that the only places I work are in-house publications.
Okay.
Such as?
Well, these are magazines that banks and different corporations give to just their employees.
Yes.
And it's usually like about a few thousand or less.
Oh.
And they have an in-house publication. It's like a weekly newsletter. And I've been hired by a few of them to do their cartoons. And no one's going to see the cartoon. And it's like what Michael said, there's these, work out there where no one sees the cartoon. And it is sad. But it's sort of my plight right now.
Who are you calling no one? Everybody who works for the corporation sees it.
Yeah, but the scale of it is different. It's the same thing as getting, like I just got a cartoon sold in Apathy magazine. I mean, no one cares, but
no one cares.
But the thing is, but that magazine has like 1,200 subscribers. And
I've done the same thing, Bob.
I need a sound effects button so we could play like.
Yes.
I know it.
Well, unfortunately, I'm telling you the truth that these magazines are very small. And like the New Yorker is something like, I'm not sure how much the subscription is, but it's like what Marty would know.
$12,000.
What?
It's like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
The circulation is like 1.5 million. And then the magazines are working for like, again, they're like sort of Wall Street companies, and the cartoon's going to be seen by instead 1,000 people.
Well, Bob, they're house organs. I've done the same thing. I was selling to a magazine for a razor company, and the only thing that cartoons had in common is they weren't funny. They just wanted razor cartoons, and you could not do a funny
kitty
razor.
Cat.
Oh, here's my
There's your cat.
Yes.
Oh,
there's
I'm
a cat right
sorry.
behind you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
focus,
Look,
Teresa, focus.
I think that what a nice kitty.
This is
I
Buttercup.
think to me it's just like I guess I'm more practical about it. Like I don't really care that much who sees it. It's work. If you get work and you're paid, you're not paid, $17 and it's a copy of the magazine.
And a free razor.
But
and a free razor.
But to me, the perks of getting into a publication, of getting more followers and stuff, has a lot of secondary benefits. Like, it's easier to get a book deal.
Well, I was going to say if you want to write books, then you have to have a following. But if you just want to, pay the bills.
Have you put any books out, Teresa?
Huh?
Do you have any books or anything in the works?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I'm in some books because people are lovely and they've asked me.
Well, you're in my book.
Would you put together just a cartoon book of your own stuff? You have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of stuff. And you know what? This is how I feel. Then I'd have to bug everybody every minute to buy my book.
I like your work.
You sound like Bob.
It's a very specific style that's very... It's good, and it has this sense of humor almost baked into the way that you draw. Like the attitude that comes out of your joke also comes out of the way that you draw people. And do you remember that brand? It looks like my grandmother Lolly, and it was like this old lady with the funny glasses, and she was always like, "Mah," but she had the funniest joke.
Hallmark?
Yeah,
that's Shoebox.
That's Shoebox. Right.
So she was great, and that brand of
she was great.
It was great. She looked just like my grandmother. My grandmother had that exact attitude. Eleanor Murphy, we called her Lolly, but she had these huge kind of, movie star glasses, and she had like the white hair, and it was always done up in a fancy way, and she would always wear like the white Keds, but she used to wear high heels, but then she wore high heels so long that it screws up your legs, and then you have to wear Keds forever. So she was just kind of like, with lots of costume jewelry.
Did she wear knee highs with Keds?
She always wore pants. She wore slacks in those years.
That's what knee highs are for.
Okay, then she probably wore knee highs.
Probably.
But I could see you having your cartoons
knee highs
in that same way. You could call the cartoon line knee highs, and the whole thing could be branded with your type of people, because the way you draw people is very unique.
Yeah,
it's
but then you have to make
everybody
want to buy it.
You could put that on, aprons and kitchen towels and all that crap. You could sell so much crap.
I know, and then you have to sell it all.
That's what
Marty's
here for.
Do you guys remember knee-high soda?
Sure.
Yeah, Marty's too young. We had a knee-high, where I grew up, there was a plant, and you could go watch the bottles.
That was Radar O'Reilly's favorite song.
Knee-high radar.
Yeah.
You guys, how long does this happen for?
It ends in 2 minutes.
We're done.
It's so late.
All right, Teresa, let's ask you if there's something we missed.
Wrap it up.
You want to say? Yeah, let's.
Some people have to take their bra off.
We're going to do that. We're all going to take it off in a minute. Let's ask. Is there anything else
I knew it was going there.
Yeah, Teresa, we're going to say goodnight and thank you. Is there anything else you want to say that you didn't say?
Wait,
cut her off.
I can't believe
Teresa is now topless.
I can't believe that.
Speaking of knee highs,
I'm truly grateful that you even know who I am and that I'm on a podcast.
This is the most fun we've had in a long time.
I'm sorry that my true self came right out because it just is getting so late.
We love you. We love you for it.
I have to tell you, a lot of the letters we get is love the podcast, but make it a lot shorter. Please, just make it short as possible. Actually. I should say make it as
Don't
short
worry,
as
Marty's-
possible.
All right, wrap it up, Bob.
In fact,
Do the ending.
gonna
just
edit
call
the
it,
hell out
just
of
call
it.
it up.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, listeners,
you.
for another episode of the Cartoon Pad. Special thanks to Teresa Burns Park.
Wait, thank
First-
you guys. Thank Marty, Bob, Michael.
Michael.
Thank you.
All right, let's all take our bras off. Talk to you later
Okay.
next
I'll
time.
give you that info.
Good night.
Thank you.
Sartar.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Oh, wait, I have to push the button.